So here now, after we finished the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, and all of those things he was talking about earlier,
Mhm.
and then he's saying, through one's duty, worshipping him for whom is the creation of the beings, by whom all this is pervaded, human being gains success. So he's now emphasizing one's own duty. So, last time we talked about, when we were talking about this chapter, not the last session, but the session before that, we said, he talked about also the three gunas, the sattva, rajas, tamas, and how what are the different shraddhas in each, what are the different duties in each, all of those things, the knowledge in each, and all that. So essentially, he's kind of closing it out by saying, uh, just do your own duty. And he's again then saying this, we've said it before, this one. He said, one's own duty, even devoid of merit, is better than the duty of another. Well done. So he's trying to say, focus on, do what is right for you, what has to be done by you, without, trying to do what others are doing or doing something else which somebody else is doing or which is not your nature, which is somebody else's nature. So he's saying, find what is right for you, find what needs to be done, and do it. And we will always do this actually, according to the Gita, because if the reason that we won't do this is because we have some other sort of axe to grind. We need something else, or we have some desire or something which is forcing us to do something that is not coming naturally to us. Um, or we are doing it because it is no, it is not a duty. It's something that I'm doing because okay, I want to make money or I want to do this or something like that, you know? So the karma that is natural, which is according to one's birth, Kaunteya, though defective, one should not give up because all undertakings are covered with fault, like fire is covered with smoke. The one whose mind is free from attachment everywhere, who has self-mastery and from whom longing is gone, gains the most exalted accomplishment of actionless by renunciation. So again, this is nothing. All these things are, you know already.
Mhm.
So learn from me in brief how the one who has gained the accomplishment of Antakarna Shuddhi, the Swamiji added, gains the ultimate certainty of the knowledge that is Brahman. Right? Nothing.
Mhm.
Hi Mukta.
Hi.
Rajiv hasn't joined today, but we are just continuing. We were thinking we'll just quickly, I'll just take you through the verses of chapter 18. We don't have to go into too much detail, just so you know what he's
Okay.
saying. And then we can
Okay.
finish chapter 18 today, and then starting next time, we can go through the chapter summaries that we were talking about
Okay.
earlier.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, been through them a couple of times, but I haven't kind of studied them in detail.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they require that much.
Mm.
So
Thank
here
you.
he's talking about now we are 1851. He's saying the one who's endowed with a mind that is very clear, mastering the body mind sense complex with a firm resolve, giving up the sense objects such as sound, etc., and giving up likes and dislikes, who lives in a quiet place, who eats lightly, whose speech, body, and mind are mastered, who's always committed to contemplation, who has completely resorted to freedom from longing, giving up misplaced eye sense, power, vainfulness, binding desire, anger, ownership, the one who has no sense of ownership and who is tranquil is fit to gain abidance in the knowledge of Brahman being oneself. So this is like I mean, this is like Gita, Gita in three lines, basically. He said everything that he has been saying in the Gita in these three verses. Okay, might seem very sort of distant or might seem a little too idealistic, But that is what Gita has been telling us. And then so therefore, like I was saying, it's a reminder. And then again, the one who has become Brahman, whose mind is cheerful, does not grieve for long for anything, does not grieve or long for anything. That person for whom all beings are the same as himself gains the highest devotion to me. Again, this should be pretty obvious to you, right? The one who has become Brahman, that means the one who has realized his whole self as Brahman, whose mind is cheerful, does not grieve for long, does not grieve or long for anything, right? He's been saying this, chapter 2, first verse was this. That person, I mean, 11th verse, the person for whom all beings are the same, that means who sees Atma in everybody, the same Atma in everybody, gains the highest devotion to me. So this is the end state of bhakti also, the end state of devotion also. So he's been, in the Gita, he's been talking about all these different paths. He's been talking about Karam Yoga. He's also been talking about bhakti, surrender to me, those kinds of things. And he's saying even for that path, the highest state is this. Then by bhakti, he knows me properly as to how much I am and who I am in reality. Thereafter, knowing me in reality, he enters me soon after that. So again, just the same thing, but saying it in sort of bhakti language. That even
Wh-
after bhakti,
Why does bhakti and then knowledge is in parentheses after that?
I think this is Swami Dayanand's sort of interpretation. That because Swami Dayanand has not been emphasizing bhakti the way, for example, you know, uh, the way, the way, the Krishna's, what is it? ISKCON, for example, emphasizes bhakti,
Yeah.
right? So he is trying to say, don't get confused. Bhakti and knowledge is the same thing. They're two sides of the same coin. If you look at what Swami Dayanand says, he says knowledge with devotion. So, and ISKCON people, they say bhakti first, just take the bhakti path, knowledge will come. So, this is just the parentheses of Swami Dayanand's insertions. He's trying to make sure that his students are not confused. Then the one who is always doing all proper actions, whose basis for all action and results is myself, gains the end, which is eternal and imperishable because of my grace. So again, this has got a sort of a bhakti tinge because he's saying he gains the end because of my grace, right? That's not the way Advaita Vedanta puts it. So Advaita Vedanta would say, you gain the end because of your knowledge. But like I was saying, Gita comes at it from different angles, depending on what your interest is. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. So even the guy who's comes at it from bhakti is the one who's doing all actions, the proper actions, whose basis for the actions is myself, that is very clear, gains the end, which is eternal and imperishable because of my grace. So he's saying, you can say it's from my grace, but I will grace you with that if you do the right things. Then being one whose only end is myself, mentally renouncing all actions unto me, resorting to a life of Karam Yoga, may you become one whose mind is always in me. Okay, so now he's gone. Karam Yoga, renouncing all actions into me. This is more Karam Yoga language. See, I mean, we also haven't covered it from a bhakti angle too much, but if you think about the Gita, it it it's if you were an ISKCON person or a bhakti guy, it's like a Vishishta Advait, which is very full of totally bhakti, you would look at these verses a little differently. You would interpret them a little differently. Because a lot of the verses in the Gita, they say, worship me and I will take care of you, right? This is not Advait Vedanta language, but it's important understanding. It's important language. See, um, when we start on this path, right? Depending upon who we are and what our nature is and what our tendencies are, we could be and who our guru is, right? We could be starting on a very much knowledge-based path, like what we have done typically. We've said, let's analyze who am I, um, what is it, what is real, what is not real, what's permanent, what's the basis for everything, what's Satyam, what's Mithya. That's the road that Advait Vedanta takes. And then it says that at the end of the day, liberation is knowledge. It does say you should do Karam Yoga, and of course, in a very big way. And it also says you should do meditation and bhakti. In fact, the way that it talks about bhakti is to say bhakti is devotion. So your Karam Yoga has to be uh, uh, or tinged with devotion. So understand that there is Ishwar. But then again, it'll tell you that, if you want to understand Ishwar as a person, that's fine. But otherwise, Ishwar is the intelligence in this world. And understand Ishwar and understand that whatever you're doing is going to Ishwar. That's Ishwar Arpan Buddhi. And whatever is coming to you is coming from Ishwar. But you can be pretty impersonal about it. It could be logically sensible and you're doing it. But that is called devotion, knowing that there's something bigger than me which is running these things and who is causing the results of these actions and from where all these results are coming because I can't control everything. That is the Karam Yoga tinged with bhakti. But another way to go about this whole thing is to say, there are a lot of people who get very confused with this whole idea of of an impersonal Brahman, including ourselves. We are not like we don't have such sharpness of mind. So, or such need for analysis. We have emotions. We have all these fears and anxieties, correct? So, our natural tendency could be because we are afraid, we want someone to take care of us. If I look around me, most of the people around me are like that. The mind may be the intellect may be saying one thing, but their need right now is to have someone that they can depend upon who says, yeah, I'm doing the right thing and this person will take care of me. Bhagwan will take care of me. That's a very strong emotional need. Sometimes we are not open to that need. We say, no, 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 we are going to fight it. But that's not a great thing. Sometimes it is better to acknowledge that need and say, yeah, that's what I need right now. I need that feeling in my mind that somebody's taking care of me. For them, bhakti is a very natural path. So they don't start by saying, okay, what could God be? Could it be this universe or whatever? They start by saying there is a God, right? And the God is there because this whole world runs. And that God, I don't know what that God looks like, or maybe they might even say, I know what God looks like. He looks like Krishna. That's fine. That Krishna will take care of me. And then they proceed along that path. And then they slowly realize that Krishna is not, my relationship with Krishna doesn't have to be transactional, that I will do something and Krishna will take care of me. Krishna is always taking care of me. He's already taking care of me. And you slowly realize, oh yeah, I am, Krishna and me are one, right? And then the knowledge comes. That path is also enumerated in the Gita in a very big way. In fact, if you look at some of the verses, you'll see equally there are the verses on Gyan, the verses on Karam, and the verses on Bhakti come in equal proportions in the Gita. Lot of verses say, worship me and I will take care of you. then they say, I am in you already. I am Sarva Bhutanam. I am in all beings. Recognize me in all beings. The one who can see me in all beings is the one who will gain this satisfaction, right? So you'll see now, if you actually go through if you keep that in mind and not just say there's only one path, which is my path, which is Advait Vedanta, then you can say, okay, you can see how Gita covers everything. But it doesn't mean that you have to, you do whatever makes sense for you. But my suggestion to you would be, as a friend, that just because you entered and started with Advait Vedanta first, just because that's what you came into, or that was your starting point of this journey, doesn't mean that that's the right path or the only path, or that we should not see other things, because because other things from other dimensions might help us, other areas might help us. Anyway, that's an aside. But I wanted to share that because these verses, if you really look at them without Swami Dayanand's interpretation on top of it, you might be able to see, okay, there's a bhakti part too. And then he keeps saying, resorting to egotism, you think I will not fight. This is just he's telling Arjun. This resolve of yours is false. Your disposition will impel you, because his disposition was to fight. Konteya, out of delusion, being definitely bound by your own actions, which is born of your natural disposition, you will helplessly do just what you do not wish to do. Okay. The Lord remains at the seat of the intellect of all beings, Arjuna, causing all beings to move by Maya, his magic, like those figures which are mounted on a machine which are made to revolve. Sorry. Surrender to him alone with your whole heart. By his grace, you will gain absolute peace, the eternal abode. Thus, the knowledge that is more secret than any knowledge was told by me to you. Considering this thoroughly, now you may do just as you wish. Okay, so this is where Gita ends, basically. So he's saying, now I've told you everything, I've summarized everything for you, from a karma yoga path, from a bhakti path, from a gyan path, everything. I've just told you all. Now you decide what you have to do. Okay? So this is where the instruction ends. But he says again, listen to my ultimate statement, which is the most secret of all. You are definitely beloved to me. Therefore, I will tell you what is good. So, become one whose mind is offered to me, one whose devotion is to me, one whose worship is to me. Do salutations to me. You will reach me alone. I truly promise you, you are dear to me. Okay?
Mm.
Giving up all karmas, take refuge in me alone. I will release you from all karmas, do not grieve. When you say giving up all karmas, you know what that means. It doesn't mean that you stop doing things. You stop doing things with desire. Nishkam karma, you do nishkam karma. This teaching, which has been taught to you, is never to be taught to the one who has no religious discipline, nor to one who has no devotion, nor to one who is not willing to listen, nor to the one who finds fault with me, where there is none. So he's saying it's a statement about preparation of the mind, preparation. So there is no point, he's saying, forcing this teaching on people who are not ready to listen. Don't do that. Um, only those who are ready to listen and want to listen and can gain from it, should this teaching should be given to them. The one who teaches this most exalted secret to my devotees, having the highest devotion for me, will come to me alone, there is no doubt. Okay, just repetition. So he's also saying one who teaches this most. So, basically encouraging you to start teaching. And there is no one other than him who is the best amongst men, who do what is dear to me, and there will not be another dearer to me on the earth than he. Okay. I'm sure these sound better in Sanskrit than in English. The one who studies or recites this dialogue of ours that is unopposed to dharma, through that ritual in the form of knowledge, I would be worshipped. This is my conclusion. The one who studies or recites this dialogue of ours, that's Gita, that is unopposed to dharma, which is totally dharmic, through that ritual in the form of knowledge, I would be worshipped. So that ritual by recitation of Gita, when you recite the Gita in a proper way, in the form of knowledge, I would be worshipped. This is my conclusion. The person who has trust in the Shastra and who does not find fault with the Shastra, even if he merely listens to this teaching, he also, being freed from the body, would gain the auspicious worlds of those who do good karmas. So even if you just listen, he's saying, has this been listened to by you, Partha, with a single pointed mind? Is your delusion that is caused by ignorance destroyed? And then Arjuna says, by your grace, my delusion is gone, and I have gained recognition of myself. O Lord Achyuta, I remain as one from whom all doubts have gone. I will do what you say. And then finishes there, and then Sanjay comes back. He says, thus I have heard the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna of great mind and heart, which is wonderful and makes one's hair stand on end. By the grace of Vyasa, I have listened to this secret and ultimate yoga from Krishna, Yogeshwara, directly teaching it himself. Rajan, he's telling Dhritarashtra, repeatedly recalling this wondrous, auspicious dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I rejoice again and again. Further, repeatedly recalling that most wondrous form of the Lord Hari, I have great amazement and I rejoice again and again. When Bhagwan kind of showed his true form. Wherever there is Krishna, Yogeshwara, wherever there is Partha, Dhanurdhana, there wealth, victory, and various riches and definite justice is present. This is my conclusion. This is another popular verse, you know. Yatra Yogeshwaraha Krishnaha Yatra Parthaha Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhutirudhuva Nitirma Matim Matihi Mama. Nitihi Matihi Mama. This is my conclusion. Okay. So that's, you can see towards the end, it's like a lot of concluding remarks and everything. So that's the first round of the Gita.
Nice.
We didn't go through um all the chapters verse by verse, but that's okay. I just thought the 18th one would be nice to end it all. Let's go in a verse.
What does it say at the very bottom, the three-line verse after the last verse?
That's the same which is there every time. Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Moksha Sannyasa Yoga Nama Ashtadhyaya Ashtadashaha Adhyaya. So he's just saying here ends the 18th chapter.
Okay.
The same thing he always says at the end of every chapter, which is this. This is the dialogue between Arjun and Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. That means in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishad, which is about Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. And this was the 18th chapter which is ended. So he says this for every chapter as the chapters end. So is it Rajiv who joined? So Vinay, hey Rajiv.
Yeah, hi. Sorry I'm late.
No problem, man.
Hmm.
Mukta, are you there or I think she's there. Can't make out.
I'm there, but
Okay, that's fine,
I
that's fine. No problem. So we just finished, Rajiv, we finished the 18th chapter. We just went through it very quickly. There was not, I mean, it's pretty much similar stuff. But I was telling everyone that, we've been looking at Gita. There are many ways to look at Gita. And they say that Gita you can look at it from a Karam Yoga perspective, from a Bhakti perspective, from a Gyan Yoga perspective. You can look at it from an Advait Vedanta perspective. So a lot of the actual verses in the Gita are easier understood from a bhakti perspective. You can always understand them from a gyan perspective also, but then I think you have to kind of twist and turn a little bit.
I see.
You have to make them fit. But bhakti is a very, very interesting. I mean, the more I'm listening to it and the more I'm seeing it, it's a very interesting approach to knowledge, to Gita. And in many ways, someone else wants to listen to the Gita.
Yeah.
And in many ways, it's very suitable for us, because it provides some relief early on. You know, it is not dry. It it encourages. We all have this feeling that there is some superpower which is running this world, which will take care of us, whether it's been imbued into us from the beginning, from our childhood, or whether it's just some,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
some DNA thing. But we
I
all
I
have this. And
yeah,
bhakti, instead of quelling it down, it encourages it to bloom. It says, okay, take that impulse and go with it. And that impulse also will lead you to knowledge.
I mean, my 2 cents here are, the strong connection to Lord Krishna is probably easier for people to, kind of comprehend. And secondly, um, I guess I was brought up in a very bhakti oriented family, and
Yeah,
a lot of us, a lot of Indians,
yeah.
that thing is kind of set in our, in our way of life. I mean, rarely do you come across in India, people, explicitly saying, "Well, I don't believe in God," or
No, actually, even in the West, all religions are bhakti religions.
or bhakti religions. Yeah, yeah. So I think that
They're
that
all, if
stranglehold
it's
is
not Krishna, then
actually,
it's Jesus Christ who will take care of you. And if not, then it's Muhammad or Allah which will take care of
yeah,
you. So you're
right.
always talking to God.
Yeah. I
So
think the distinction of, whether you can, the big difference being the promise of nirvana, where does it happen, right? And does it happen after death, or does it happen while living? And I think that's makes
no, I
the
mean that no that difference is um that difference is between religion and spirituality. So like
Mm.
if you go into spirituality anywhere, right, it will talk about it will transcend that this religion thing and get the destination is the same is what I'm saying. Whether you go by bhakti or you go by any other means, if you go all the way and not just leave it at I'll just continue doing what I'm doing, just praise God at the same time, then you'll get to the same end.
But isn't
So
there a difference that in one case, you attain realization while you're living, whereas in the path of God is, you will go to heaven after you die, right?
no, I'm saying, yeah. So even if you look about Karam, even if the Karam Yoga, just take Vedant, just take Ved. The 90% of the Ved talks about heaven and hell. It's
Yeah.
saying if you do something good, do the right thing, you'll go to heaven. Or in fact, they classify heaven. There are seven different kinds of layers of heaven,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And seven different kinds of hell.
Yeah.
So everybody's, but when you start saying, okay, um, I want to go beyond that heaven or hell concept, and I want to see what is happening to me right now in this life, then you enter into then there is spirituality, which can help you, um, you know, with that knowledge, right? So only those people who are saying there has to be something more than this constant journeys between heaven and hell, or something which says I will get some benefit after my death. I want to understand the now. That's what leads us to spirituality. Or at least that's where we end up with spirituality,
Mhm.
living in the now. Any other thoughts? Sanjay, what did you think? What is your thought?
नहीं थॉट तो वही है द थ्री श्लोक्स which you started with. I think वो तो that should be the real crux
Which strokes?
of जो आज के लेसन में the
Ah,
first three ones.
right.
I think वो those three श्लोक should be uh, deeply learned and repeated every day,
Yeah,
because that should be the ultimate goal. And I
right.
think repeating them every day, there's more clarity,
Yeah,
and they will give you real strength to
right.
go through your day and reach those points.
Right. Yes, that's right.
So I was very impressed by those three ones. And
Yeah.
if we can inculcate the habit of repeating those three and trying to follow them, and that should be our actually goal,
Mhm.
ultimate goal.
That's like I
So
was saying, that's a crux of the Gita, right? Those three.
crux of the Gita, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
अच्छा, एक बात तूने और बोली कि if we follow the bhakti part,
Yeah.
the knowledge will automatically come. But I think it should be the other way around. If you have the knowledge, then really you can go follow the bhakti path more
Yes.
easily and understand that
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah. No, it's
Yes.
true. Um, it depends on our personal makeup. I also feel that way, which
Yeah.
is why this is the path we all have taken. That's why we are all drawn to this, right? Because we don't just want to believe in blind bhakti. We feel there should be some basis, some knowledge, and then we go to bhakti.
Hmm.
But some people may not agree with us. For them, you know, uh, knowledge is dry and it's in the future. They want some relief right now. To tell them, don't think about God at the moment, or don't worry about the bhakti part. Just let's be in the knowledge. It becomes a little difficult for them. But if they're already very much in this mindset that there is a Bhagwan, then you can tell them, yes, there is a Bhagwan, and how you relate to Bhagwan is important. Relate to him with an attitude of surrender, and give everything to him. That deepens their existing notion, and then eventually they come to realize that God is not separate from me. He's already there in me. It's in me, and that me and God is the same. I'm a part of God, or I am God, and that is what your knowledge will also lead you to eventually. So it's just a matter of what where we are and what appeals to us. See, we are professionals, we are well educated, we are reasoned. Logic is a big thing for us. We want to know, we want to understand. Our mindset from our training and our environment is very a little different than the mindset of many people who are much more emotional. I mean, that's my understanding. I don't know whether it's right or wrong or whatever, but I was just saying the Gita acknowledges too that the Gita also talks about bhakti. Now, whether it is true that Gita starts by a little bit about Gyan, then it goes to Karam Yoga, and then it goes to Bhakti. So that is right. Sanjay, maybe you got a point there.
Yeah.
But but
Yeah,
many people
I don't
don't
think
look.
just doing bhakti, and not taking care of your the gyan part
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the karam yog part, it won't take you too far. Matlab. Just
Yeah, yeah,
doing
yeah.
bhakti, but if you're doing bhakti, if your karam yoga is not right,
Yeah.
so what are you gaining? I don't think anything
Yeah.
you'll be
No, no,
gaining.
but if you are doing bhakti, then what the bhakti path says, the next step, first part is we are most people are just doing bhakti, this is a puja kar rahe hain. That is not bhakti, right? That's just the initial starting point. The path of bhakti says after you've done, if you are really interested in following through with your bhakti, then you have to say, what do I do for God? Because then you have to say this whole world is God. So I have to serve God.
पर
That
आप ये
means I have
देखो
to
ना
serve the people.
99.9% तो सिर्फ भक्ति कर रहे हैं ना.
हाँ वो तो भक्ति मतलब तेरा मतलब है कीर्तन. I think that's what you're saying.
हाँ,
कीर्तन.
भाई गए, एक रिचुअल है,
हाँ.
कीर्तन है, वो दो चार गाने गाए, भजन गाए, और वही
Walk
है ना
about it.
भक्ति.
No, no, that's not what I meant by bhakti.
हाँ, तो
Bhakti is a
वो
path. Just like Karam Yoga and Jnana Yoga is a path, bhakti is a path. This
हम्म,
is just, you're not really doing bhakti, you're doing kirtan.
हाँ.
You may call yourself a bhakt, but you're not really doing bhakti. So when you want to do bhakti, you have to say, okay, I am going to do, I'm going to devote my life to the service of God, right? And how does that manifest itself? How do you serve God? You can't, you serve God by serving the world around you because God created this world. So the direction of God is always, if you look at any scripture, including Gita and everything, he says, I am there in everybody. See me in everybody. So you can, when you have an attitude of service to your work, that's bhakti. It's actually the same as Karma Yoga, just coming from a slightly different angle. And Karma Yoga says, I will do my work without reward. But eventually, Karma Yoga also goes to bhakti when it goes into saying, I will devote my work to Ishwar. And I will consider the reward of my work as Ishwar Arpan, I mean Ishwar Prasad. So at that point, there's not much difference between bhakti and karma yoga. If you truly follow the karma yoga all the way,
हम्म,
right? But I think you're right. I think what you mean by bhakti or what you were trying to say was kirtan, Bhagwan ki puja. Yeah, that is not a spiritual path. That is just very much a material world samsari activity.
हम्म,
बिकॉज क्यों कर रहे हो तुम पूजा? वो मुझे भगवान की पूजा कर रही हूँ ताकि वो मेरी फैमिली को खुश रखे, ठीक रखे. नथिंग रॉन्ग इन इट, इट्स फाइन. बट it's a sort of a your the main difference is that your purushartha, your desire, your purpose is still artha and kama. It's still money and security and desires, whatever you desire, whatever you need, your protection. So as long as your purushartha is artha and kama, and even dharma, artha, kama, dharma. Dharma just means your desires extend into the next life. So you want to do the right thing so that in the next life also you get very good results. So as long as your purushartha is dharma, artha, and kama, then you are very much in samsara. And then you can invoke God for those too. That is fine. That is not, I mean, you can say it's bhakti because that's what normally people call it, but it's more like kirtan and puja. But bhakti is a path for spirituality. That means when your purushartha becomes moksha, you're saying, I am done with all this. I now want something more permanent. Then bhakti can be a path to get there. Then that bhakti is not just kirtan. That's what, really saying, okay, I want to devote not just 1 hour of my life to God because I'm doing puja in the morning and evening. I want to devote my life to God. everything I want, everything I'm doing, I want to devote to God. Just like in Karam Yoga, you don't just do Karam Yoga for an hour every day. You do everything with an attitude of Karam Yoga, right? So then it becomes um, serious. Right, Sanjay? Did you get the difference?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I think we are saying the same thing, right?
yes.
So Gita is very interesting and very unique because it's not sort of stuck on one particular path. It's not stuck on one philosophy. It says, in fact, Krishna Bhagavan says, whichever path you choose, whatever God you worship, it's all going to end up in me. In other words, all paths lead to me. It doesn't matter. You do, it's very interesting, I think a very important shlok of the Gita. I don't know the Sanskrit one, मेरे को याद नहीं है, but it basically says, whoever, whichever way you worship me, whether you worship me as Vishnu, Shankar, Krishna, as Allah, as anything, you can worship me in any way you want. The results will come to you in that way. So if you're worshiping Vishnu, Vishnu will reward you. That's fine. But remember that all those paths lead to me. At the end of the day, there's only one me. And there Krishna is not meaning Krishna as the person. He means the Lord of all, the Brahman. That's what he means. So he validates all paths through those statements. If you want my grace by doing bhakti, sure, I'll give you grace. If you want to do the right actions and then you want antakarna shuddhi through just doing the right actions, you'll get that too, right? It becomes much easier to make sense of the verses of the Gita when you keep this large perspective in mind. It forces you, if you really have to understand it, it forces you to expand your mind, in other words. Because आजकल मैं I was listening to this ISKCON person also speak, and I see, it seems so foreign and so alien to me when I hear those interpretations. So completely different and narrow. And I feel like so much is being missed by those people. They miss this whole inquiry is being missed. The inquiry into us, the logic, all that is being missed. And I'm thinking maybe they will be thinking when they listen to us, they'll be thinking all this rasa of bhakti is mixed. We are so much into analysis that where's the pleasure? I mean, we get the pleasure out of the analysis. That's fine. I mean, I definitely do. But uh, but that's how Gita covers. Gita, you'll get whatever you want to do, whatever your inclination is, Gita will give you. Do you follow?
No, actually, I think Gita carries infinite knowledge. The
Hmm.
more and more you keep reading, more and more you go through, you
Yeah.
will hit different points
Yes.
from different angles.
Yeah.
So there is no end to knowledge.
It doesn't. It's much. It's very hard to get over the Gita and say, okay, I'm done with this.
Over
Let's
the
move
Gita.
over to the next
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We haven't reached. No, I don't think anybody has reached there yet.
No, we are to just beginners. We have
Up to
just
beginners,
gone
I'm saying
through it
anybody.
once.
Like हमारा तो बात छोड़ दो.
हाँ तो वही है ना.
I mean, that's, I think, one of the reasons why so many people from different religions are so attracted to the Gita,
Yeah.
because it has pretty much has everybody's perspective in it, somewhere or the
Yeah.
other. I
I mean, it
mean,
has a lot of psychology in it too. That's the other thing. How you.
people like Einstein or Oppenheimer,
Yeah.
some of the big guys, who who I'm sure, the level of intellect that these kind of people have, they were all drawn to the Gita,
Yeah, yeah,
not to the Quran or not to Ramayana or not
yeah.
But
other.
I think a lot of people are also drawn to Buddhism for the same reason that there's a lot of psychology.
I mean, to
in-
me, after having learned a little bit about Buddhism, it's actually no different than Vedanta, right? I mean, they just came to the same conclusion
Yeah.
through a different argument.
No, I've been listening to some. Yeah, it's very appealing also.
Okay. What else? So next time onwards, should we just go chapter by chapter? Maybe a couple of chapters, or one chapter with two chapters, maybe a couple of chapters with every meet session. Make
Yeah,
sense?
that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We'll know we are not forgetting
I
anything.
think we can devote one class to one chapter.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
धीरे-धीरे मतलब you just mark those major points and
Yeah,
उसके ऊपर we can discuss.
correct.
Correct?
Yeah, I think that will be nice.
Yeah.
And maybe we can make it more interactive as
Yeah,
well with
please.
discussion.
There's no rush for us.
Yeah.
Dheeraj, did you pick an Upanishad that we might also want to do after this exercise?
I was suggesting Kena because it's a short one and I know it well.
Okay.
And I mean, often it's the first Upanishad, even in other courses. Like Swamiji used to say, Kena first. But let's do this Gita one first.
Yeah.
And I was even wondering whether
Right.
we should just take a little break after we finish the Gita. See how we all feel. Do we need to sit back and maybe you guys don't feel it because you meet once in 2 weeks, so that's okay. I meet 3 times in 2 weeks. So I was just hoping it's not all becoming too much, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not.
It's not.
It's not for us.
Okay.
Once in 15
Yeah,
days
there
is
should be a break.
Huh? There shouldn't be a
If
break.
you want a break, there
No.
should be a break.
Okay.
From our
I also
point of
don't
view,
want a break.
that break would be good.
Okay, ठीक है. चलो.
ठीक है.
So we meet next time, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.